Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
Hey guys, welcome to our devotion tonight. Tonight, Anna Lynn and Alyssa are going to bring you Genesis chapter 4 and chapter 5.
What if I just don't smile? What if I just stare
Just
into
don't
the
smile.
camera?
Okay, so basically,
So basically,
Adam and Eve had a child.
his name was Cain.
And then they had a second son, and his name was
Yes.
Abel. So Abel was a shepherd, and Cain was a farmer. And they went to go bring offerings to the Lord, as they were supposed to do. Cain brought fruits and vegetables when the Lord wanted fat portions from the best of the flock. And he could have asked Abel for a sheep as an offering to the Lord, but he didn't because he was prideful and he didn't want to do that. So the Lord was upset with Cain for bringing the wrong offerings to him.
Cain was very angry when he went to go bring offerings to the Lord. And the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." Then Cain said to his brother Abel, Let's go out to the field. While they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him.
And then the Lord asked Cain, "Well, where's your brother? Like, what happened to him?" And he said, "Well, I'm not my brother's keeper. Why should I know this?" And eventually, the Lord said, "What have you done?" And he cursed him with the mark of Cain. And because of that, he could not produce crops, and he was forced to be a wanderer on the earth. He said to the Lord, like, "This punishment is too much for me, and someone's going to kill me eventually because I've been cursed like this." And he says that whoever kills you will be cursed 7 times as bad as you are.
He went to the land of Nod.
And there he had many sons and daughters, just like the rest of Adam and Eve's descendants, because they were supposed to populate the earth.
Cain was building a city, and he named it Enoch after his son. The rest of chapter 4 basically goes on about the genealogy of Cain, and then how the Lord blessed Adam and Eve with another son named Seth.
And then all of chapter 5 talks about Adam's descendants, all of his descendants. And in the beginning, it talks about how God created all of these people in his image and how they are all important to him. All of these names that are mentioned lead down to Noah and his family. So the rest of this chapter talks about the descendants of Adam and Eve. It talks about what their sons' names were. It talks about how old they were when they had their children. And it talks about how old they lived to be before they died. And all of this leads up to Noah.
Okay, so do you want to answer the question first?
You should go first.
What I think is most important about chapter 4 is when Cain murdered Abel, because it goes down to his descendants being cursed for a long time.
So what I think is important in chapter 4 is it shows how easily sin can creep into your life. It shows how easily it can control you, how it can make you do some terrible things. God warned Cain that sin was crouching at his door, and that unless he did right and tried to get over the sin and the temptation, that he was going to do some terrible things, and he did. And because of that, sin has terrible consequences. And because of that, it affected his descendants, and it affected him because he had to be completely thrown out of God's presence. He had to leave his family and be cursed to wander the earth for the rest of his life. So there's a lot of genealogy in chapter 5. I think that's important, especially because we can date how old the earth is based on the ages that are listed in that chapter. And we can also see how life was back then. I mean, they lived to be 900, 800 years old. That's a lot different than how it was now.
I hope you enjoyed the devotion tonight. I really like where we ended on that. Cain and Abel. Cain was bringing offering to Jesus, and it was not with a kind heart. It was not in the right spirit, and that really changed him. And he let that bother him, and he let that stay there, and it became jealousy of Abel's relationship with God. And that led to him murdering his brother. It just shows you that if we do things with the wrong heart, it creates sin and doubt and anger and anxiety in our lives. Think about that this week, and when we're doing something nice for somebody else or we're doing something for God, make sure you have the right heart when you do it. Thank you guys. Have a great week.